was doing a play in LA. I was playing a drug dealer. And I was doing a Pacino voice. So I originally auditioned for Mold as, you know, kind of young Al Pacino like this here. And they said, oh, we like that, but can you make it gravity? So you make young Al Pacino gravity and you get motorbikes. The new Springsteen a lot later. And actually you got Springsteen here and young Al Pacino here. Most right in the middle.
Welcome to Azaria! So many waters. Welcome to Orlando. It takes us a moment to sit down on these chairs.
Yeah, they're kind of high up.
Do these chairs actually frighten me? I'm always afraid they're going to collapse, but I'm sure you're
It's a strange phobia to have.
Thank you.
No, we're used to, you know, on sets, that's what they give
Well,
us.
that's what I was like, you're probably used to this.
I am kind
I
of.
feel unstable.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
You'll be fine. I
Thank
promise.
you. My goodness, thank you so much for spending the day with us.
My pleasure.
So, we get a lot of food and all there. That's so lovely. So lovely. So I love to start my interviews out with like two very simple questions. The first one is, would you rather be able to speak and understand all languages or be able to understand and speak to animals?
You sure the chair is not affecting you in ways? I gotta go with the animals.
Yeah! I will tell you, no one has chosen the other one. Of like the 30 people I've
That's
interviewed.
me. I want to talk to everybody in the world.
Exactly.
Now, I'll share this with you.
Please.
My wife, Kate, we have two cats. We're Met fans. The cats are named Mookie and Wilson. And if you go to the Mookie and Wilson Instagram page,
I will.
she has trained, in the pandemic, we had a lot of time on our hands, we all did. She trained Mookie to talk. Mookie presses about 20 different buttons that say things. So we kind of can talk.
Yeah.
And it's a little creepy sometimes. It really is. Like they're sitting there thinking things and they'll let
And
you
then
know
they
them.
choose.
Yeah, my favorite one is he just says, mad, mad, mad.
Amazing. I gotta get this. So I have two cats as well. I'm glad you're a cat person. One is Conan O'Brien and the other one is Schmidt.
Schmidt from what?
From New Girl.
I never saw that show, but okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan.
Yeah. So my second question is this. If you could travel anywhere in the world, and you don't have to live there, but you could, you know, where would you want to go, like that you've never been before?
Gosh.
Yeah. Or maybe not even on this world.
Let's keep it up.
Okay, great.
Not really. I've had to travel so much for work.
Fair. That's fair. No, a lot of folks give me that answer and they're like, can I just stay at home and read?
Yeah, I don't really have a wish list of where
Yeah.
I would really want to go. I think actually, I take that back. I would love to go. I'd love to go to Africa.
Lovely.
Would.
My friends have done that with their photographers who do safaris and things like that.
Yes.
You literally walk out of your tent and there's an elephant.
Yeah, I'd like this. It's very animal themed.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
also, I go to Japan here. I'd like to go to Japan.
Oh, very nice. All right, well, we'll get you there. We'll all pay for okay. So
I'm just answering. I don't.
So how did you get started in this whole crazy business of the show? Because you have gotten to do voiceovers, you've gotten to be on screen, you've gotten to be on stage. What started it all? What was the spark?
Went to college at Tufts University in Boston. Found that I spent all my time in the theater, much to my parents' chagrin. And then when I was 21 and left college, I was like, I loved it enough that I knew I'd regret it if I didn't try.
Yeah.
I knew that. So I figured I'll try and get out of my system. I fully expected to be back at grad school for psychology. By the time I gave myself till 28, gave myself 7 years.
I like, okay, yeah.
And then I started getting work. You know, I got the Simpsons, I auditioned for the Simpsons when I was 23. It aired when I was 25. It took a long time to get it going. And it really, I tell young actors starting out, like, try it. Like,
Yeah.
definitely try it. But show business will be happy to let you know whether it wants you or not. You don't have to worry about it.
It's true. They'll just be like, thank you, next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I was sort of surprised I worked. I really was. I was like, really? You're gonna give me this job? But yeah, you don't know until you try.
Try.
Yeah.
So, I'm a theater person as well, so getting to be on stage, you got to be on Broadway in the first iteration of
I'll be
Sam.
back on it next week.
Yes, you will. So, what is kind of, not that we can ever pick a favorite as performers, but what is something that you love about being, obviously we're in front of a live audience now, like what is it that keeps bringing you back?
Yeah, it's you know, we've all discovered, right, that we're grateful for Zooms because some things you'd rather do by Zoom. Like, for example, in Hollywood, pitch meetings are hard. Like, when you're trying to sell a show, you know, it's so much nicer to do it by Zoom now because you know they're probably going to say no. Anyway, so we should have to schlep down there. But then there's other things that Zoom are not good for, right? And obviously, same with performing.
Yeah.
I now have a Springsteen tribute band. We played last night. And that is like a new level.
Yeah.
It's really fun to, it's really fun. I haven't done stand-up since I was like 25 years old. But I miss, because that's true interaction.
Yes.
And you can actually just abandon whatever it is that's working or not working. Oh, hi, little Bo Peep. You're probably not little Bo Peep. You are? I nailed it first try. Oh, yeah, no, sheep, all the sheep are dead. It's fun to interact with folks.
Yes. Did you ever do, because doing stand-up, did you ever walk into the world of improv as well then? Because that's also.
I told the story last night on stage for some reason. I started out in an improv group called An Evening on Thin Ice. And there were, like for example, last night at the Plaza Live Theater, we were only about 2/3 full, which sort of bothered me. Yeah. So I started, you know, making jokes about how we're not all here. And I told the story about how it was an improv group. There were 6 of us in this improv group. And many nights we would outnumber our audience.
Yes. That's
There was an we had 3 folks one night. 2 were my friends, and the other was my mom. I made her pay full price.
We have a rule at my theater, if there's more of us on stage than there is in the audience, we tell them, thank you so much for
You
being
don't need
here.
a show? Yeah, we went out with it that night because my mom was there. She wanted to see the show.
Was it a good show?
Probably not.
You never know.
The same suggestions over and over. No, what was fun about that, like, you know, when you do a Broadway show and you notice it's not full house, you know, you just gotta just do the show. You can't like break character and start riffing on why people show up. But you know, when you're doing a live performance and you're addressing the audience, you can have fun with it.
Yes.
It
It makes
turns it
those
into
folks
a
that
fun-
did turn up feel important.
Yes, and yeah, you can call it out.
Yeah. So what's happening? You said you're going to Broadway now, so are you allowed to share what the project is?
Sure, it's an interesting show called All In. It's sketch comedy, and it's kind of like pardon the expression, but there was a show called The Vagina Monologue.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Love Letters was another similar one.
Yes.
You just rotate the cast, and actors didn't have to memorize it. You're just kind of reading, sitting there. This is a little more elaborate than that, but about 20, 30 actors have come in and out of it.
I think Nick Kroll will be there, right?
Nicole
And
just
Stephanie.
laughed. I'm doing it with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I've never heard. He's new.
Meadows, and I just saw my friend Richard Kine, Chris Jessica, and John, and Fred Armisen,
Yeah.
and Edie Bryant.
Jimmy Fallon's coming in.
Yeah. It's such a fun show idea because it does give you a chance to be able to do a project like that, but not commit for like the 20 weeks that you may have to.
You know, I have a son, I'd rather not, wait 6 weeks for a year.
Right.
And he's picking it up. And you don't have to remember, although you kind of do remember. They said you don't have to memorize it, but if you don't, then you're just staring,
Yeah.
People who paid a lot of money, you feel bad just staring at the notebook.
Well, that's very exciting. I may make it up to New York to actually go see it because I live in Philly.
It's closing end of next week, so.
Okay, well, I have time.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll make it.
Although it's selling out.
Yes, exactly.
My wife's selling out.
Really, go Birds.
Giants.
Good luck this weekend. I hope you do.
We're gonna destroy. So please, I want to hear. I could spend about 3 hours talking about the birdcage, if that's okay. If you could sort of like talk us through that exploration of how did we find him?
This was an imitation of my grandmother, not kidding. Grandma Esther grew up in a bilingual household. And we're Sephardic Jews, that means Spanish Jews. My grandma Esther spoke 5 languages, always but with this accent. And I had another who was a little tougher. I grew up in Queens and there was this Puerto Rican son on the street. He was a little tougher, harder edge, and I kind of had it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went with my grandma Esther because she's so maternal and loving and feminine. It seemed right for the character.
Who still quotes that movie? Like, yes, DNA is.
Stood the test of time.
Yeah. Did you go into the audition with that choice, or?
I didn't audition for that. I had just done a movie called Quiz Show. Mike Nichols, the great Mike Nichols, had seen me in that and liked me, and he said, pick a small role. At that time, Agador was just one scene.
No.
Yeah. And so then it was based on a French film called La Cage aux Folles. And in the French film, the role of that butler maid was a black guy, And then David Allen Greer, I think, was supposed to do it. And they found in rehearsal that in an American context, it wasn't playing. It was awkward, and so they figured it's set in Miami, why not make it a Latin character? And I had already done so it was the dresser and the butler were 2 different roles, and they combined it. So I didn't even audition for that.
That's the dream of any performer.
Yeah, Mike talked like this. He called me dear boy. And he calls it, Hank, it's Mike. Is it okay if we expand your role? Like, no.
Who's gonna say no? Who's gonna say no?
Mike, it's getting annoying now.
Yeah.
I was like, of course, you're kidding.
Of course.
Yeah.
What about, are you able to recall or share with us any of shenanigans that happened? I mean, the late and great, are you comfortable sharing stories about?
Yeah, Robin Williams was, I've been lucky enough to work with many wonderful people. He was by far the sweetest, kindest, big movie star that I ever worked with. He really would, he was as you would imagine. He would really go into a million characters. Sometimes when you were alone, I could just see him grabbing a bagel in the morning. Say, what you doing this weekend, boss? Liberty, boss. I think I went bowling. Oh, bowling. He would do 10 minutes of bowling. And it's just for just me. You look like you want to gather people, like Robin's on. And we
shot some of that at Paramount, and they have tours like on trams that come by. And most actors would avoid the tram.
Yeah.
Robin would run to the tram, I swear, and do 10 minutes for the folks on the tram. He was really, really sweet.
Oh, that's lovely.
I was telling a story this morning. If you look at the birdcage again, there's a scene where we're getting the food ready in the kitchen. And so Robin, he falls down, which was not scripted, which made him laugh. It made me laugh, but I'm supposed to be upset. So I start pretending to cry. And I'm actually, you see I'm holding shrimp and I'm actually laughing so hard I'm crying. Which we never thought would end up in the movie.
Right.
But it actually did.
But that's the gold. I think that's why I love performing improv so much, because you get to just react. And your reaction was better than, well, your acting was brilliant, but it may have been better than what was prepared.
And Mike Nichols was right. He practically invented improvisational comedy before he was a major director. And he knew if you look at the movie again, you'll notice there isn't too much coverage. Not so much close-ups or cutting. He wanted it all to play as much as it could just in one big scene. Like that scene, for example, all happens in just one take. Because he wanted it to feel like a farce was happening in real time. We rehearsed it like you would a play. We rehearsed it for like 3 weeks, which is very rare for a movie. Yeah.
Well, that's always interesting. I think a lot more movies are doing that, where like the Hitchcock film Rope, they just shot with one camera and it followed for like a good half hour.
Yeah, which film was this?
Rope.
Oh, that's the old Hitchcock one. But I think isn't there like another movie that's come out recently that has done that?
And they did an episode of like The House on Haunted Hill, I think, of like that too.
Yes.
Portrait. Yeah, it just changes. Yeah, it just changes the performance, and everyone has to be at this different.
There's a cool movie out now, a Soderbergh film called Presence, which I recommend, which is not all in one, but they do a lot of that. It's really creepy.
Yeah. Okay. Check it out. Check it out. So you spoke moments ago about The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be fired if I didn't bring it up, but.
I certainly would ask them to fire.
Tell us about that process of like getting to discover those voices, and I guess my question would be like, here's a character, what does their voice sound like? Or did you have voices and they match some things? Like, how does that process work?
All of the above. It's usually they write a character, and then you just kind of imagine what voice you think. I used to like audition voices for myself, like kind of read it out loud until I could decide which one seemed like it would work. For Mo, we went in audition. Like I said, I was 23. I was doing a play, a very small play, in the Black Box Theater in LA at the time. And I loved Al Pacino. I used to do an impression, young Al Pacino. Not old Al. Old Al sounds like this now. Why do older actors all end up sounding like this? I don't know. But young Al, you know, was up here, Godfather Al, I'm dying here. I was doing a play in LA. I was playing a drug dealer. I was doing a Pacino voice. So I originally auditioned for Mo as, kind of young Al Pacino like this here. And they said, oh, we like that, but can you make it gravelly? So you make young Al Pacino gravelly and you get motivated. I knew Springsteen a lot lately. And actually you got Springsteen here and young Al Pacino here. Mo's right in the middle. He's a mashup against the Beatles.
When you're in the booth and things, do you get to ever kind of record with anyone else, or is it a lot of solo kind of work?
We always used to record together, and now we pretty much do solo. And since the pandemic, we all do it from our house with a nice mic and a dedicated laptop. But yeah, we used to, for the first decade, pretty much always together.
And so, since you do theater too, have you heard of the play Mr. Burns Opposed to Electric
I saw it, I had a friend in it.
Yeah, oh, okay, great.
Yes, yes.
So, for those that don't know, because the theater I work at in Philly, the Wilma did it a few years back, and it was just this idea of what remains when, like, we can't, like, remember, but the people remember the Simpsons episodes. So around campfires and stuff, it's just amazing. Who do you think you would want to, if you could add anyone to that play, any of the characters that like may not have been featured, who of yours do you think should be added to the post-electric play?
Well, I think if anyone deserves to experience the future, then Professor Frank. He would know what to do with an apocalyptic hellscape, I think.
So we got to go on.
Silly question.
What, getting to do like the voices and then, how do you keep up with them, if that makes sense? Because sometimes when I choose a character and then I go back and have to do it again, I'm like, wait, what did they exactly sound like? Do you ever have to give that moment of like,
Yeah, no, often. I mean, I just don't remember what I did. So that's what,
Yeah.
recording is for.
Playback, isn't it?
It's like, what was this? Well, oh, right. But yeah, no, that's, you keep track that way.
Yeah.
Because it is hard to remember sometimes.
Yeah, because you do so many.
Yeah.
If you could take any voice, like in combine them with like maybe another character you've done, who would you like to see have lunch?
Well, if the Agador would have lunch, I don't think he'd want to have lunch with Mo. I don't think Mo would get, Agador's mom. You know what I mean? She's with him. My dad. It's hard to imagine she's with him and Agador having lunch. I think I would probably go, hey Agador, you gonna finish that spaghetti? Judge, you can have it because, I've already eaten too much and I gotta feed him my shorts.
I brought you.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of enjoying this. On the show, the characters talk to each other all the time.
Great.
Yeah, sometimes I actually feel a little bit insane.
Hey, what are you doing, Mom? Hey, none of your damn business over there. You're so touchy about that. Hey, don't call me touchy. Sorry.
Do you get to do them back to back?
What?
Do you do them back to back like that?
Yeah, you'll have a conversation with yourself. But sometimes I'll just record one and then the other. It's complicated.
Yeah, I did a play and I picked 3 tracks I was understudying for.
Yeah.
And when you end up doing the understudy run, you are 1000% talking to yourself.
Well, that's really hard.
Yes.
And when you understudy a play, you often have to be ready to go off like 3, 4 different roles, which is like a nightmare.
Yes, it was.
I mean, and then you get no notice, like, you're on tonight. Which role, right? I mean, that's called the actor's nightmare. Do you have actor's nightmares?
Yeah.
Actors all have this nightmare, I swear, where you're on, but you have no idea. You haven't memorized the role. You have absolutely no idea what you're going to do. And you get thrown up on stage. And my nightmare is always that they let me carry the script, but I can't read it.
Man.
I know it's hard.
Well, in Waiting for Guffman, Fred Willard says the best thing. He's like, if you forget your lines, just say a line, even if it's from a different show.
Well,
I always think that before I go
it's a
on.
good strategy, isn't it?
So, is anyone familiar with the sketch, the Funny or Die situation?
Yes.
In the world?
Will Ferrell.
So can you tell us, how did your show come about? Because I think, I read on the internet, everything is correct. But that your show came from a sketch that you initially did, is that true?
You should talk about Jim Brockman. It's a smattering of a problem.
It's a cult hit. It's Hollywood speak for a good show that no one watch. That's too bad because it deserved.
It was wonderful, and that
I really
character
think it
was delightful.
Does Funny or Die, do they still exist?
I don't know, but I think I was such a diehard fan.
It was great though, because Funny or Die, like about 15 years ago or so, if you had any sketch idea, you could just go to Funny or Die with it, and they would, produce it for you and put it out there on their website. So yeah, Brockmeyer started out. wondered what it'd be like for a baseball announcer who just lost his mind all the year, which has actually since happened. And it just led to, it was an idea I had since I was like 15 years old.
Oh.
And it took us 10 years to actually get it made. But yeah, I love baseball. I love Jim Brockmeyer. If you haven't seen it, honestly, check it out.
It's wonderful.
It's a funny show.
Do you think that we could get him to maybe announce a Mets game someday in our
I've
lives?
done it.
You did?
I go into the Mets booth about once a year, and I've gone in the ESPN booth too. I usually prepare a bunch of Brockmeyer insults. Yeah, they let me sit there for like,
That's great.
yeah.
Dreams coming true.
I don't call the game.
You
because
just commentary.
I just make fun of.
That's
It's it's very hard to do that. People think just because I played Jim Brockmeyer that I can call a baseball. But that's like thinking because I played a surgeon, you wouldn't want me operating. It's very hard to do.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. So you're a Mets fan, I'm a Phillies fan. We don't have to fight about it.
So it's my wife.
Do you think that our mascot is better than yours? Yes.
Actually,
Thank you.
no one tops the Phillies.
No, it doesn't.
But that's actually hilarious.
Thank you.
Mr. Bennett is just kind of ridiculous.
Thank you.
And check me, if you Google this, Jim Brockmeyer once interviewed yesterday.
Really?
I am. Made a lot of fun of him.
I would.
Yeah.
So the fun portion of today's interview is the fan question that I have. So folks pre-submitted these lovely questions. Thank you all so much. And so the lovely Olivia Davis from Miami is wondering that you've voiced so many iconic characters in The Simpsons. Which character do you have the most fun voicing and why?
It's the aforementioned Professor Fringe. This is an imitation of the original Nutty Professor, which was Jerry Lewis back in the 1950s. Now, when I mention that instead of, say, not Eddie Murphy, people say, and who is Eddie Murphy? But yes, each take of Professor Fringe gets more and more ridiculous. The Climbys get added on. And once I start, it's very difficult for me to stop, so that's better cut out.
You can, and you're done.
Yes, start.
Okay, great. Well, you can continue as much as you want. This lovely person, Elliot Foster from Orlando. Elliot, are you here? Yeah. We're gonna figure it. Check. You've done a variety of live action roles. Is there a particular role where you really had to step out of your comfort zone, and how did that challenge you?
Oddly, the roles that are hardest for me, or used to be anyway, were roles where I wasn't putting on a voice or an accent. I found it more uncomfortable just being myself. In fact, I helped go to an acting class when I was studying as a young man. That's what I had to focus on was, I had a teacher who recognized this. Didn't allow me to do a voice or really be funny for about 3 years in scene study work. It's like, until you're comfortable being yourself, you're not allowed out here.
It's hard.
Yeah.
That's why we're performers, to be
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah. So that's what, yeah, I can't say that's true anymore, but it used to be true.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Who else? Oh, Catherine Stone from Tampa. Lovely. Hey, you voiced so many characters in so many genres, from comedy to drama. Which one is your favorite voice of all time, and that you wish you could do a voice in a specific genre that you haven't explored yet?
I don't know. There's a special place in my heart for love.
Yeah.
And, I grew up in New York around a lot of guys like this. A lot of guys, people like this. I don't know, the tougher they were, the more strain their vocal cords. I kind of love to play, not as a cowboy.
Yeah.
I love to play, classic old school gangster. And I'm getting older.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so you said you grew up in Queens. What part of Queens?
Forest Hill.
I lived there for 3 years.
Where?
I lived oh goodness, this was like 20 years ago when I went to acting school. So it was, I took a bus there.
You don't remember where
I
you
don't
lived?
remember.
That's right.
Because then I moved to Astoria for another 5.
It's where the aforementioned
around my neck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I hope she was, because my favorite was all the old ladies going to sit in the dry, like the washing places and things like
She
that.
didn't know that.
She didn't do that.
No, she had arthritis.
That's fair. That's fair. The lovely Jordan Lee from Jacksonville, Florida. In The Simpsons, you voiced characters like Mo, Apu, and Chief Wiggum. If you could voice a brand new character in the show, what would that character be like?
I'm tapped out. Every sound I can make has been utilized for that show over 36 years. It's very rare now. Used to be like there was 4 or 5 years, like that one. Now it's like, I think I'm gonna do it like, no, you did that 7 years ago. I did. We used to win with a guy, this morning theater, what about a guy named Peter Moss, who was his father, maybe talk like this. And I always tried to put it in a show, but he was always too low energy. That's boring. But I finally slipped him in.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, so
That's a big moment for me.
he made it. He's had his day.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Well, when you were like,
Also, when I was young, I would imitate every, I no longer have my finger on the pulse of pop culture, So, you guys know Matt Friend, the comedian Matthew Friend? Anybody? Impressionist. You will know him if you don't know him yet.
He's big on TikTok.
Very big on social media. And he's breaking through now. He's always on red carpets. He imitates celebrities to them. Yes. Hilarious guy. And actually, he's the son of my college roommate, but that's another story. But his impressions, he does some old school ones, but he does impressions of people I don't even know who they are.
yeah.
I do, impressions from years ago, pretty much.
Is that like because a lot of times your voices they're from someone that you've heard in your life, or is there one day where you're like, I've got one?
No, it's always to be a mimicry, an impression. Like my grandmother, I've been signing a lot of barn talk the bats, the little albino bat from the movie Anastasia. That's my cousin Martha. And goes Al Pacino, Wiggum is really, that's Mel Blanc's impression of Edward G. Robinson. That he would do on the old Warner Brothers cartoon. And then, they're always, because I tell young voice actors, if you do a direct, really good mimicry, that's great. And if it's not so good, now you've created an original character. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's lovely advice. Jacob Martin from Miami asks, Hank, your role in Brockmire was a departure from some of your more comedic works. How did you prepare for that role, and how did you feel to switch to a more dramatic character?
Well, Brockmire was a comedy. That Brockmire, if you don't know, you probably know as you don't, because most of you didn't see it. That's fine. That's quite all. He's a baseball announcer, and Bob Costas. He correctly identified Bob Costas. He was in it actually. He loved the character. It's the 70s, the iconic, the generic baseball announcer voice from 1970. For some reason, every guy talked like this. And I wondered if they always talked.
Right, who decided this is what we're doing?
Well, what we realized with that character was he could say really anything he wanted as long as you give the count. So Johnson's talking about 248, 11 fingers so far, so positive. I'm a little underneath it, folks. My apologies. I spent most of last night with a young lady who was not my wife. Johnson swinging this is a ball. So I created that character, so it was not, and then it did get kind of dramatic.
Yeah.
But it was still absolutely a comedy.
Yeah, and I think the testament to something like a character like that working so successfully like it did is it has truth in it. And any character that you sort of get to embody, you have to find that truth in that person, right? I get even in the birdcage, that you seem like a clown, but really there's such like depth to that character.
What I have ended up doing a lot, because I like playing around my voice, is then sort of taking, it's almost like a game, right? How absurd can the voice be, and can I find a bridge back to humanity somehow?
Yeah.
Where you actually believe this is a real person.
Yeah.
And sometimes some are harder than others. You know? But the challenge there was like, if you always sound like a baseball announcer, can you actually have an intimate conversation? Right?
It is true, because you take them out of, my idea is always like, oh, I'm gonna try a new character. Would they work ordering a sandwich at Subway? Would they also work at like in a courtroom? Like I wanna make sure that they work in all aspects of where their life could take them.
Yes, it's a challenge sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's got a shout out to Michael Myers is here, and it's a little disturbing. You know, his expression doesn't change.
He's already.
Yeah, and it's hard not to interpret it as a threat. It's like Myers.
The fact that he's nodding up and down is...
Yeah, to acknowledge me, he just pointed a knife at me.
It's the best. I went dressed as Michael Myers to a pumpkin patch to get like Halloween pictures,
Yeah.
but I had to take the hayride with like 7-year-olds.
Was you terrified?
No, I took my mask off and said, would it be okay if I put this on? It's really me. And then they were all like, yeah, can we get pictures?
Good.
It worked out.
There's
So
also a baby here somewhere.
who brought the baby? Show us the baby.
Over there, hi. Hi.
Yeah, baby! My favorite interview was with Anthony Mackie, and he kept being like, show me that baby! Like over and over and over again. It was amazing. Let's see if it works. Show me that baby! Yeah!
I have such PTSD from my son's night, many nights up crying all night that I think I'm having more of a frightened reaction to the baby than if I lied. See, it doesn't change. I'm sure underneath it, he's smiling and his eyes are very warm.
The comedic timing on this is crushing.
It's also like having a cat.
Yes.
No matter what, you look over the cat's looking at you like, my friend played like, hey, who has cats here? We have cats. We debate this. How large do you think the cat would have to get, or small would you need to get for the cat to eat you? Because it would happen.
Yeah.
At a certain point, the cat would notice, wait a minute, I can take that guy. Doesn't matter how much they love you or how long you spend with them. Yeah.
Would you be alive, or because mine would eat me the moment I died? I'm sure they would.
Well, that's half the set.
Yes.
Yeah, folks pass away in the apartment.
I'm not mad.
No
No one's feeding them.
but I'm talking about the full stalking, kill you, take you down. Eating you while you're alive. I think, they'd be sad while they did it, but they'd do it.
Do you have an automatic feeder for your cats?
No, I don't.
Those, because mine will be like sitting on my chest, and I'll forget that it's gonna go off. Murder.
No, they're not shy about when they're hungry. Well, food. They don't get different. Love you, food.
My husband would kill me if I was able to make mine talk.
Oh, my wife honestly was ready. We'll be watching the movie, and then he comes, all done, and we just started watching. Love you.
Well, I think Orlando loves you. Is that correct? Like you're a hot dog machine.
Oh, I get
Yeah, like a cannon. You can throw them out. All right. Let's give MegaCon one more round.
Like Willard dancing around.
I will dance.
Don't cross that line! Throw it, Grimy!